All right, welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, our beautiful country, and how we're going to fix both of them together. And the content that I'm about to show you right now is the ish hitting the fan on the lefty side of the world. Did you guys know, I don't know where you would hear this from, Biden was gone the entire time? Well, now apparently that's common knowledge, and no one wants to land on this grenade, and everyone's getting real pissed. I've got timestamps, I've got articles, everything that I'm about to show you is the left imploding on itself, which is great for us on the gun rights side, because that means we can push our cause forward. Everything, like I said, linked, timestamps, everything. If you guys are just now checking out, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. We are looking to spread freedom from border to border and coast to coast, and thank you in advance for that consideration. All right, guys, as you get in here, welcome in, welcome in. We have got a treat for you guys. Would you guys believe that Biden was gone the whole time and the Dems knew? I mean, I know for like 4 years they were telling us he was fine, but they wouldn't lie to you, would they? No, okay, well, maybe we can jump over. Maybe we can jump over and figure this out together. This is going to be a fun one. Please send this one out and jump into the comments so I can chat with you guys. This one's going to make you laugh a little bit. I fully expect to see some great emojis in the chat. All right, let's go over. We got two things I'm going to show you. First, the TYT, the Young Turks, Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur freaking out. And then I've got a CNN reporter saying that he's really sorry that he was bullied and said he couldn't tell the public that something was wrong, and that's a big part of this too. Make sure you hang out for the entire thing. We're going to do this as quick as we can, efficient as possible. Freedom mainlining. Let's go. Goodness gracious. Just get ready for greatness. First, timestamps, as always, are through 55 seconds. Everything is in the description. Let's get it.
They knew from day one. How many times are you going to see the Democratic establishment lie to you before you realize, oh, right, the next time they tell you something, it's also a lie?
The Wall Street Journal has now put out an expose regarding the obvious cover-up carried out by those closest to President Joe Biden when it came to his mental decline. Now, there are a lot of details here. I'm going to try to get to all of the highlights, or at least as many of them as I can, starting with the fact that there were already massive red flags in regard to President Joe Biden's mental decline early on in the beginning months of his administration.
All right, I'm going to stop her. Sorry, we're just going to have fun together on this, guys. Really? That's weird, because I was told that we were doing very bad things when we said that, hey, that guy can't walk off a stage. No? Just you? Us? Okay, let's continue. Sorry, I had to.
But we didn't hear about that, did we? Until it was way too late. Now, a lot of people like us suspected it, but now we have some confirmation that those closest to him saw it and were concerned about it. Administration officials noticed that the president became tired if meetings went long and would make mistakes. They issued a directive to some powerful lawmakers and allies seeking one-on-one time. The exchanges should be short and focused. For example, they avoided doing any of these meetings first thing in the morning because that was when Biden was struggling the most.
All right, sorry, Anna. Okay. So we got a sitting president who can't do meetings that are broad spectrum and macro approach, then switch into micro back and forth like we do literally right now on this live stream. Can't have meetings in the morning either. And the whole time, Dem aides, the White House, Karine Jean-Pierre knew, hey, someone just said it in the chat, and this is what I was going to hope one of you brought it up. Isn't it interesting that all the executive orders against our Second Amendment rights and all the executive actions and all of the laws, you think that maybe some of that should be brought into question since clearly even Democrats knew this entire time? I don't know. I mean, it seems like a pretty important question to be raised. I don't know, call me old-fashioned. But let's continue. We've got even more Anna, and then Cenk. Oh, Cenk at the end. Oh, yes. Then the CNN.
And if the president was having what they were referring to as an off day, meetings would just be canceled altogether. In the spring of 2021, again, very early on in his administration, a national security official explained to another aide why a meeting needed to be rescheduled. Quote, he has good days and bad days, and today was a bad day, so we're going to address this tomorrow, end quote, the former aide recalled the official saying. And so there's more. For instance, congressional Democrats complained that they couldn't even get a hold of Joe Biden to talk to him about policies, his agenda, what the best path forward was strategically in order to accomplish his agenda.
That's weird.
So, for instance, Representative Adam Smith claimed that he wanted to get in touch with Joe Biden ahead of the Afghanistan withdrawal in 2021 because he...
Okay, that's not important why he wanted to. The point was, you remember the Afghanistan withdrawal? That was the turning point of the Biden presidency. That's when everything went down. That's when his public opinion went down. That's when everyone started turning against him. That right there. So he was mentally insufficient that whole time. So 13 American service members died because he was mentally insufficient and couldn't get in touch because he had bad mornings. This is the part where I get pissed. What? Where's the consequences for that? I mean, other than the fact that Kamala Harris lost and they lost the House and the Senate and the White House, that doesn't bring those 13 service members back because of ineptitude. Just saying, it's worth a thought. It's worth a conversation. But now, let me just check my stats real quick on my timestamps to make sure I don't leave you guys bereft of some good stuff. Yeah, that's that. So now let's jump over to the CNN article. CNN reporter. This is a guy named Chris Cillizza. Okay, so we've quoted him a lot. He's a lefty, flat out. But now he's coming out and saying some very interesting things about what was going on behind the scenes and how sorry he is for not standing stronger. Yeah, okay. You had your hand so far up the puppet that it wasn't. Anyway, let's keep going. Now all of a sudden, all right, let's show this.
As a reporter, I have a confession to make.
Oh, do you?
I should have pushed harder earlier for more information about Joe Biden's mental and physical well-being and any signs of decline. So let me explain.
Okay, before he gets to explaining, because I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine and reasonable. 300,000 people are watching this guy, a former reporter from CNN who wrote multiple pieces that we covered on this channel, was on multiple different opinion shows, fact show, whatever, CNN expose shows. This guy goes out there and I should have pushed harder. People died. Americans died. Economic implications. The world on fire. Wars freaking started. But he should have pushed harder. Okay.
Joe Biden was president from 2020 to 2024. I worked at CNN through 2022. During that time, the early part when I was at CNN, 2020 to 2022, Republicans would regularly ping me and say, why don't you ask more questions to Joe Biden and how he's doing? He's 76, 77, 78-year-old man. And I would sort of brush them off because what I would say is, well, there's no obvious evidence that he's declining. Yeah, he moves a little slower, he talks a little slower, but there's no evidence that he's declining. And the White House and the people around Joe Biden were absolutely adamant that suggesting anything,
right here,
asking the question about whether he was in some physical, mental, or both decline was offensive. How could you? It's age shaming. And I think that impacted me.
Because you're a baby back. Fill in the last word. You're a reporter. You're getting on the internet now on X and you're sitting here saying that, well, they were really, really offended and it was age shaming. Oh, so this is what's going on. This whole game of we're going to cancel you inside the leftist media because we're going to talk to your bosses because you can't talk bad about the president who's literally running the country and service members are dying, wars are starting, economies are collapsing, interest rates are popping off, all that stuff going on. But you should have pushed harder. Yeah. You shouldn't have a job. Anyway, let's continue. Got a little bit more. But you see the game they're playing. One more thing.
At some level. Because while I did ask the question from time to time of, not directly the White House, but aides and people around in that orbit.
People didn't matter.
I didn't really push on it, if I'm being honest.
No.
Now, once I left CNN and once it became a little bit more clear to me about Biden's age, I think I did write pretty regularly and talk pretty regularly about how I wasn't sure that this guy was up to it. And then obviously after the June 27th debate, everybody, including me, was writing and talking about it. The reason that I bring this up...
Okay, before he gets to his reason. So you understand, guys, I wasn't. I mean, I was. We were asking aides, and I was. I asked the dog. The dog didn't say anything, and the butler at the hotel across the White House didn't say anything. So we're fine until he got on national TV, short circuited, and we realized our hand was caught in the cookie jar, and we had to turn it on to save our butts. I.e., this right here. I should have said something earlier. The Dems knew the entire time. The White House knew the entire time. Pelosi knew. Schumer knew. They all freaking knew and lied right to our faces. We knew, and we age called names for age shaming and just being ridiculous, insane. It was unconscionable. Now they're coming out and trying to cover their own rears. All right, let's continue because let's hear his reasoning. I'm sure it makes so much sense.
Is in the last 48 hours, there have been two stories, one by the New York Times and one by the Wall Street Journal, that document the decline of Joe Biden.
Weird.
And
someone else did it, so now he can say it.
Probably should have known then and reported then what we know now.
We probably should have known then what we know now and reported it then. But that would offend your overlords for age shaming. Let me just turn the mic so you guys get really clear and personal on this one. We've got CNN article or journalists who are saying they didn't want to offend by asking a question about Biden being brain dead, even though all the Dems knew, all the aides knew, all the Schumers knew, all the Pelosi's knew, all the Democrats knew. Everyone freaking knew. No one wanted to say it because it would be politically incorrect and age shaming. Okay. Well, then we got right over here, we've got the TYT, which is the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, saying, we told you so, we told you so. They knew the whole time. And at the end of the day, you have Democrats sitting there scrambling because they lost the House, they lost the Senate, they lost the White House, all because of this extreme malfeasance. And I will be wrapping this video up with this little point right here. Let's go big. We got to do it. Got to do it. At what point do we hear Trump or Vance or House Republicans or Senate Republicans, how about just the internet in general? When do we start demanding the immediate removal of anything that this man touched because he was mentally incompetent? When's that happen? Yeah, sure, nominees. Okay, cool, we'll have that fight. Okay, yeah, they can't pass a budget. When does the conversation happen about all the executive orders and overreach that this man did under his name when he wasn't there? When's that happen? Asking for a friend. They knew the entire time. They lied. They manipulated. They're going to live in a world of hurt for the next 4 years. Everything will be linked in the description box below. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.